I am Louis the 14th of France, born on September 5th, 1638, at the Château de Saint-Germain-en-Laye, just outside Paris. My birth was hailed as a miracle, for my parents, King Louis the 13th and Queen Anne of Austria, had been childless for 23 long years. They called me Louis the Udon, Louis the God-given, and I was raised with the knowledge that my existence was a divine gift destined to restore the glory of the French crown. My reign of 72 years would surpass all others in its length and impact, earning me the title Le Roi Soleil, the Sun King. Allow me to recount my life, a tale of grandeur, struggle, and determination. My father's death in 1643, when I was just 4 years old, left me King of France. Though I wore the crown, the real power rested in the hands of my mother, Queen Anne, who acted as my regent, and her trusted advisor, Cardinal Jules Mazarin. My childhood was shaped by their guidance and by the tumultuous events that unfolded during the Regency. I was not raised in the lap of luxury, as one might expect of a king. My tutors ensured I was educated in Latin, history, politics, and theology, as well as the arts of war and governance. I also learned the importance of ceremony and symbolism, the tools through which a monarch commands respect. Yet, my early years were overshadowed by the Fronde, a series of civil uprisings by the nobility and the Parliament of Paris. These rebellions, which erupted between 1648 and 1653, were driven by resentment toward the centralization of power under Mazarin. I vividly remember the humiliation of fleeing Paris with my mother, the fear of being captured, and the constant uncertainty about whether we would survive. The Fronde left a profound mark on me. It instilled a deep mistrust of the nobility and the realization that a king must wield absolute power to maintain order. Never again would I allow the nobility to challenge my authority. When Cardinal Mazarin died in 1661, I was 22 years old. Most expected me to appoint a new first minister, as my father had done. Instead, I declared, "I shall govern by myself." With those words, I ushered in a new era of absolute monarchy in France. I centralized all power in my own hands. Every decision, from military strategy to tax policy, passed through me. I worked tirelessly, holding daily councils with my ministers and overseeing every detail of my government. My motto, "L'État, c'est moi," I am the state, was no idle boast. I believed in the divine right of kings, that my authority came directly from God, and I ruled accordingly. One of my crowning achievements was the transformation of a modest hunting lodge into the magnificent palace of Versailles. It was more than just a royal residence. It was a stage for my power. Every detail of Versailles, from its grand architecture to its manicured gardens, was designed to glorify my reign and project my image as the Sun King, the center of the French universe. Versailles also served a political purpose. By requiring the nobility to reside at court, I kept them under my watchful eye and made them dependent on my favor. The intricate rituals of court life, such as my lever, morning dressing ceremony, and coucher, evening undressing ceremony, reduced the most powerful nobles to competing for the privilege of handing me my shirt or candle. Through these rituals, I reinforced my dominance and kept potential rivals preoccupied with petty court intrigues. I was determined to make France the preeminent power in Europe, and to do so, I waged numerous wars. My early campaigns, such as the War of Devolution, 1667 to 1668, and the Franco-Dutch War, 1672 to 1678, brought significant territorial gains, including parts of Flanders and Franche-Comté. These victories enhanced my reputation as a warrior king and brought glory to France. I reorganized the French military, creating a standing army that was disciplined, professional, and loyal to the crown. My Minister of War, François-Michel Le Tellier, Marquis de Louvois, and my military engineer, Vauban, revolutionized warfare with their innovations in logistics and fortifications. Under my command, the French army became the most formidable in Europe. However, my ambitions also provoked resistance. The War of the League of Augsburg, 1688 to 1697, and the War of the Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714, pitted me against powerful coalitions of European states determined to curb France's dominance. These wars were costly, both in terms of lives and finances, and they tested the limits of my power. As a Catholic king, I believed that religious unity was essential to the strength of the state. In 1685, I revoked the Edict of Nantes, which had granted religious toleration to Protestants. By doing so, I sought to eradicate Protestantism in France and reinforce Catholicism as the one true faith. This policy, however, had unintended consequences. Thousands of Huguenots fled France, taking their skills and wealth with them. While I believed I was acting in the best interest of my kingdom, the loss of these industrious citizens weakened the economy and alienated foreign allies. My reign was not only a political and military triumph, but also a cultural golden age. I was a patron of the arts and supported writers like Molière, Racine, and La Fontaine, painters like Charles Lebrun, and composers like Jean-Baptiste Lully. I also established institutions like the French Academy and the Royal Academy of Music, ensuring that French culture would flourish and dominate Europe. Versailles became the center of this cultural renaissance. Through festivals, ballets, and operas, I displayed the splendor of my court and cemented France's reputation as the cultural leader of Europe. The final decades of my reign were marked by personal and national hardships. The wars I waged, though initially successful, drained the treasury and brought suffering to my people. Famine and economic hardships swept through France, leading to discontent among my subjects. On a personal level, I endured profound losses. My beloved wife, Queen Maria Theresa of Spain, died in 1683. Over the years, I also lost my son, the Grand Dauphin, and several of my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. These tragedies weighed heavily on me, but I remained steadfast in my duty as king. On September 1st, 1715, after 72 years on the throne, I passed away at the age of 76. My body, worn out by age and illness, succumbed to gangrene. As I lay on my deathbed, I advised my great-grandson, the future Louis XV, to avoid war and focus on the well-being of the people. My reign left a mixed legacy. I centralized power, expanded France's borders, and made it the cultural and political leader of Europe. But my ambitions also left the kingdom deeply in debt and its people weary from war. Yet, my vision of absolute monarchy and my achievements at Versailles continue to define the image of royal grandeur. I am Louis XIV, the Sun King, and my life was a testament to the splendor, ambition, and complexities of kingship. L'état, c'est moi.